She spent all her husband's savings just to open this restaurant. She doesn't have what it takes to be an internet celebrity, but she's got all the bad habits of one. The woman's name is Blake. Her dream of being a boss started with a food truck. Back then, Blake only served breakfast from her truck. When she had nothing to do, she'd film a couple of videos and post them online. She never expected the videos to suddenly go viral. Many people came to her food truck just because they'd seen her online. Blake saw a business opportunity, so she started posting videos every day and also began live streaming to sell products. After a few years, Blake had saved some money, and together with her husband Nelson, they opened this restaurant called Blake's Place. After opening the restaurant, Blake should have focused on running it properly, but she still hadn't come back to her senses. From the days when everyone was fawning over her online, she continued to live stream every day. But this time, instead of attracting new customers, it meant the restaurant's actual customers weren't getting good service. As a result, business got worse and worse. Nelson had no choice but to work in the restaurant as both chef and waiter. But even so, the restaurant still fell into loss. Nelson had to dip into his own savings to cover the deficits. But this couldn't go on forever. To save the restaurant, Nelson invited the famous restaurant makeover expert Gordon, hoping that with Gordon's help, the restaurant could get back on track. After getting a rough idea of the whole situation, Gordon took on the job. Early the next morning, he arrived at the restaurant, but as soon as he walked in, he was completely confused by the decor. It didn't look like a restaurant at all. It looked more like a supermarket. The most prominent spot was filled with kitchenware and condiments. Gordon felt a bit helpless and asked the waitress if any of these things had ever been sold. The waitress replied that they hadn't, but she said these items were put there on Blake's orders. No matter how much they tried to persuade her, it was useless. So in the end, they just left them there. Gordon felt a bit helpless after hearing that, but Blake wasn't there at the moment, so he didn't say much more. He just sat down to taste the restaurant's signature dishes. The waitress immediately went to the kitchen to place the order. Soon enough, the first dish was served. Gordon looked at one of the dishes and guessed it was probably a crab cake, but it was all mushy and stuck together in a clump, looking almost inedible. Gordon slowly cut into it and tried taking a bite. He couldn't taste any crab at all. Instead, the texture was very strange. After just one bite, Gordon couldn't eat anymore. He turned his attention to another dish, French fries. This dish looked quite normal, but after tasting it, Gordon found the fries were already soft, nothing like freshly fried ones, and the sauce on top tasted as if it had been watered down with a very bland flavor. Gordon really couldn't eat anymore, so he asked the waitress to take the food back. But when Blake saw the dishes being returned, almost untouched, she got a little angry. She accused Gordon of being too picky. These dishes were clearly made by her own hands, with the heat carefully controlled. How could there possibly be anything wrong with them? To prove the restaurant's strength, Blake prepared another dish for Gordon, but she never expected that as soon as this dish was served, it would be criticized by Gordon.